On this video, I'll go through 5 mistakes that ADIs sometimes make so you can avoid making these mistakes yourself when you're a driving instructor. I'm Jonathan from Boom Instructor Training. I've been an ADI for 25 years, I've been training people to become driving instructors for 20 years, and I run a multiple car driving school. And I'm here to help PDIs and ADIs get the most out of being a driving instructor. Let's start off in no particular order with mistake number 1. Not charging for lesson cancellations. You must have terms and conditions which every new pupil needs to read and sign on their first lesson. One of these T&Cs needs to be a cancellation policy. 24 or 48 hours is pretty standard within the industry for a cancellation period, and if a pupil cancels with less than the required notice, then they will have to pay a cancellation fee. Imagine you have a week where 4 or 5 of your pupils all cancel within the same week. This would be unusual but not impossible. And without collecting lesson cancellation fees, you'd be seriously out of pocket. Certainly use your discretion. If you have a pupil who's been really reliable, you get on really well with them, and they cancel, perhaps they've had 10 hours with you so far, and then they cancel unexpectedly, and it's for a legitimate reason, maybe a family member has taken ill and they just can't attend the lesson, then as a gesture of goodwill, don't charge the cancellation fee for the first time they cancel if it's a legitimate reason. However, do make it clear that although you will waive the cancellation fee on this occasion for the first time, if there is another cancellation at short notice, you will have to charge them the cancellation fee. Give an inch and they'll take a mile is a phrase that does apply to pupils cancelling lessons. So have a cancellation policy, and other than rare occasions, do enforce it, otherwise you will be out of pocket. Providing you have a nice attitude and your pupils respect you, then they will be happy to pay a cancellation fee. If ever you get a pupil who is repeatedly cancelling their lessons and they refuse to pay the cancellation fee, then that's a customer that you don't want anyway. In this case, don't book them in for another lesson, simply replace them with a better customer. Mistake number 2, expecting too much too soon. It's fairly common for a new PDI or ADI to move a pupil into busier traffic with more complex hazards before they're really ready to deal with this. And this is because the new driving instructor is really eager to progress their pupil on and get them ready for their driving test, and the new driving instructor is putting themselves under too much pressure to progress the pupil onwards quickly. But not everybody learns at the same pace. Some learner drivers will pick things up quickly and you can move them on sooner, whereas some learner drivers will find driving more challenging and they will need to spend longer in quieter practice areas in order to get a good control over the car, so learn the basic car control skills and get a good grasp over the mirrors, signal, position, speed, look routine. If you expect too much too soon from a learner driver who is finding driving quite challenging, then they will soon feel out of their depth and overwhelmed. And it's possible that they will cancel their next lesson and then they won't rebook another lesson with you. And this is because they felt scared and really uncomfortable by being put into busier traffic before they was ready to cope with this. So the moral of the story is to treat each pupil individually and plan lessons around their specific needs and requirements. Only move a pupil into busier traffic when they're ready for this. Whilst ever they are still requiring a lot of help from you on the quieter roads, they're clearly not ready or prepared to move into busier traffic. So involve your pupils with this decision. Be client-centered. Ask your pupils if they feel prepared and ready to move into busier traffic, or would they prefer to stay in the quieter practice areas for a little bit longer. By involving your pupils with this decision, you are being client-centered. Mistake 3, undercharging. When you are a fully qualified driving instructor, then you will have the same qualification as me and every other driving instructor around the country. You'll be a DVSA approved driving instructor. So charge at least the average hourly rate in your area. You deserve it. And this is my personal recommendation, particularly if you're an independent ADI. If you join an established driving school and work with them as a franchisee driving instructor, then you won't have any control over this next suggestion that I'm going to make. But if you are an independent ADI, I would recommend not giving any discounts. The driving school I run stopped discounting lessons years ago, and it didn't affect demand for driving lessons at all. We're still as busy as we were when we were giving the discount. So by stopping discounting lessons, it made no difference at all to the amount of pupils that come to us for driving lessons. As things currently stand, there is a shortage of driving instructors and a surplus of pupils. Therefore, it's not necessary to give discounts. So charge a fixed hourly rate, and it's the same rate whether they buy 1 hour, 2 hours, 10 hours, or 20 hours. You're not giving any discounts. They're paying a fixed hourly rate for every hour they have with you. Providing you do a good job and provide good customer care, then you deserve to be paid a fair hourly rate without having to discount the lessons. If your pupils like you and enjoy their lessons, they will want to keep you as their driving instructor. They might ask you if they can buy a block of 10 hours or even more. The reason a pupil should feel motivated to buy a block of 10 hours or more than 10 hours if they want to, should not be to get a discount. So they shouldn't feel motivated to buy a block of lessons from you in order to get a discount. That's the wrong reason that they should want to buy a block of lessons. It should be because they want to keep you as their driving instructor. They are prepared to pay upfront for a block of lessons to guarantee that you will be available to teach them to drive. So it's a guarantee of your availability. So in my opinion, with my experience, this is the best way to look at charging for lessons. Value yourself and value the service that you provide. If you're giving big discounts to pupils, then you're devaluing yourself, and every time you give discounts, you're giving yourself a pay cut. Mistake number 4, being too soft and allowing your pupils to take their driving test when they aren't properly prepared. It really is a waste of your pupils' time and money if they take a driving test when they aren't ready. If they can't drive safely, responsibly, and independently without your help on a variety of different roads for at least 40 minutes, then they simply are not ready to take a driving test. You need to be honest with your pupils, and sometimes you will just have to tell them that they need to cancel their driving test and reschedule it to a later date. And this is something that you need to get used to. It's just part of the job. Also, bear in mind that you could fall into the trap of triggering a standards check if you fall below certain standards. DVSA look at certain statistics from your driving tests, over a 12-month period, and if you drop below certain standards, they will ask you to book a standards check. There are 4 indicators the DVSA considers, and if you reach the trigger point on 3 out of these 4 indicators, then DVSA will ask you to book a standards check. The indicators and trigger points are: number 1, you have an average of 5 or more driving faults per test. Number 2, 50% or more of your driving tests have a serious fault recorded. Number 3, 10% or more of your driving tests result in the examiner having to take physical action. And number 4, your pass rate is 55% or lower. So 3 out of these 4 would trigger a standards check. And it's easy to fall below these standards if you're too soft with your pupils and you agree to just let them have a go. You do have to be firm but fair when it comes to allowing your pupils to use your car to take their driving test. So be firm. If a pupil clearly isn't properly prepared, they cannot use your car to take their driving test. And be fair. If they are properly prepared, then they can take their driving test in your car. Mistake number 5, signing a contract when you join a driving school without first researching that driving school. Joining an established driving school can be an excellent way to start your career as a driving instructor. They should be able to provide you with plenty of pupils and give you lots of help and support as you start your new career. And there will be some fantastic local driving schools in your area which you could join. Of course, you will have to pay a weekly franchise fee, and providing the driving school provides you with the pupils that you want in your local area and they charge a good hourly rate for their lessons, then this would be a great way for you to start out as a driving instructor. But if you tie yourself into a contract with a driving school that gives really big discounts on their lessons, and then on top of that you're having to travel really big distances between each pupil, then yeah, you'll soon regret that decision. To make sure a franchise option is good value, then you should consider: how much is the franchise fee and how many hours per week will you have to work to pay that fee? What is the hourly rate and how does that compare to other driving schools in your area? Will you be asked to give your pupils discounts, and if so, how much? Can the driving school keep you quite local, therefore avoiding having to travel large distances between each pupil? And what is the length of the contract and the notice period should you choose to leave? So don't sign a contract with a driving school before asking these questions and thinking it through. Do shop around and see what's available. There will be plenty of local driving schools in your area very happy to welcome you onto their team. And do consider setting up as an independent driving instructor from the outset. It's never been easier to do this. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. This would really help. This is a small channel and liking and subscribing will help other people find the channel. If you would like to become a driving instructor, or perhaps you have an upcoming standards check and you'd like some help, then check out boominstructortraining.com. Thank you for watching, and remember, when you're teaching pupils, keep it simple and enjoy it.